Hi there. Today we are diving into Twitter advertising. I know many of you have not done a lot of advertising on Twitter. This is your chance to actually get into Twitter advertising. So my name is Aaron and I'll be diving into Twitter advertising. So like I said, very many digital marketers have not done a lot of advertising on Twitter. Twitter is a very different platform where you can actually get to advertise. Very many digital marketers have actually done a lot of Facebook advertising, but they've not ventured into Twitter advertising. I have had very many people who do advertising that have also not done advertising on LinkedIn. So today we're going to go into how you actually get to do advertising and get promoted tweets on the platform Twitter. So walk with me. So what makes a good tweet? I'm going to walk through a few elements that make a very good tweet. So one is video. The impact of video is still increasing and successfully attracting huge engagement. We all know video is still a major content format. Remember to add subtitles if you're going to create any video for Twitter. Those subtitles are good if viewers on Twitter don't have any sound, or if they want to actually get to watch a video in a very quiet place, or they want to just go through the video, so they'll have to see some of the subtitles. One of the other things is when you're doing videos, show your branding, show your logo, especially within the first 3 seconds of the video. In that way, it shows a brief sort of messaging to the viewers on what the brand is about and probably what you're going to capture. The other thing around video on Twitter is, even on other platforms, is that you need to capture the audience or the viewers at least in the first 5 seconds, or probably less, probably maybe 5, probably maybe 2 seconds. You need to capture the attention of the viewer with your video. So get creative and experiment with so many different formats of video. So that's one of the things that make a very good tweet. The other thing that makes a very good tweet are images. We all know images. So a simple thing you can do to get more attention for your tweet is to add some form of images. You can add an image, or you can add a GIF. You can grab a GIF from the in-tweet GIF sort of search. You can pick as many GIFs as you want to sort of tell the story with what you've written with your tweet. And remember to keep the images high quality. If you're going to actually get a creative designer to get to create a GIF, remember to keep that image or photo or GIF to keep it high quality. The other thing that makes a very good tweet is the tweet length. Tweets can now contain over 280 characters. Before they were over 140 characters. But being concise is Twitter's DNA, and it's good for marketing. Twitter gives you an edge to actually write very short copy. So you can condense your message to probably 280 characters or 140 characters. Probably you can even condense your messaging to 70 or 35 characters. Making your ideas or your pitch with this storytelling on Twitter fits into a tweet. It's a very good exercise. It gives you that efficiency to actually tell your story in a very short way, because I mean Twitter has a lot going on, and the attention span, especially for a platform like Twitter, is very short. So once you have discovered your hook, writing long descriptions for other platforms will even be easier. So once you have the hook for creating short snippets and short content on Twitter, it will give you an edge or an hook to actually even get to create more descriptions and more content pieces for other platforms like probably Facebook and LinkedIn. Another thing that makes a good tweet are emojis. So does your business speak emojis? Millions of users on Twitter use emojis. So this is a symbolic sort of languages of faces, of flags, and everything in between that you can express yourself in a fun and creative way on Twitter. They are perfect for celebrating celebratory messages, considering the character count, emphasizing a point. They show appreciation. They're good for communicating value and so many other things. So play around with the emoji keyboard that you have on your Twitter to see how you can connect your business or your brand with the messaging that you want to put out in a more trendy way. Again, that's one of the ways that make a very good tweet. Another thing that makes a very good tweet are hashtags. Only add a hashtag if you're linking your tweet to a broader message or an event, or probably a movement, or probably something like International Labor Day or International Women's Day, or a conversation that is already trending online, or probably this can be a hashtag that is already created for your business that you want to hook around with your audience and people that follow your business. So think of it as if you're having a conversation with a third person. Then someone else, you're having a conversation, then a third person walks into that conversation. The hashtag is saying, oh, hello, we're just talking about this particular topic. So that's how you can connect the dots when it comes to hashtags. Remember that once tweeted, hashtags become clickable links. So don't use more than 2. Or if you want viewers to click somewhere else, a button, an image, or your own link, it's best to not include them at all. So that's another way that makes a very good tweet, hashtags. Another way that makes very good tweets is voice, right? So many brands on Twitter feature a wittier or faster or maybe a current voice tone. So don't be afraid to alter your usual brand guidelines. And again, here what I'm trying to say is that you can break the bounds. You can even create different tonalities. Probably on a platform like LinkedIn, you can have a different tonality. You can have a different tonality for Twitter. The reason for that is you want to capture this audience on Twitter, and very many audiences are not the same. So the audience on Facebook is not the same like the audience on Instagram, the audience on Twitter, or the audience on LinkedIn. So probably you want to create a different, this can be in the storytelling, or this can even be on the creatives. So don't be afraid to alter your usual brand guidelines to create a more broad and human sounding Twitter storytelling. And remember that singular tweets are the perfect way of testing your tone. Does your audience like formality? Does your audience like silliness? Do they like probably jokes, daddy jokes? Do they like certain puns? So what do you want to sound like as a brand on Twitter? Tweet a few of each and let the engagement guide you through the process. So along the way, start tweeting certain sort of elements. Probably tweet with a GIF that is saying something, maybe a joke. Tweet something that is more formal and see how that goes, so that along the way, probably in months, you have some tone that you get to use on Twitter. The other thing that makes a very good tweet is timeliness. Twitter moves very fast, and the fast timing can mean everything. So trends change daily, sometimes even in hours. So ensuring that your tweet hits when the topic is still very hot can make or break you. So it can sort of make you succeed with your story, or it won't make you succeed. So it's very important, especially looking at analytics, to see which times best suits, or when people are actually engaging with your piece of content or with your tweet. So tap into the events dashboard on Twitter Analytics to plan your content around key dates, key holidays, and to find the perfect sweet spot on when to tweet. This is the sweet spot on probably the time, or probably a holiday, or probably when the conversation is still hot and you want to sort of newsjack the conversation. So now we're going to dive into advertising on Twitter. So advertising on Twitter enables you to promote individual tweets or entire campaigns dedicated probably to different objectives you want to go to as a business. So to expand your reach and grow your followers on Twitter, consider supplementing your organic efforts with paid promotional opportunities with Twitter advertising. And we're going to go into some of the objectives you can actually set when you're building Twitter. So one of the things is emphasize urgency. Emphasize urgency. The other thing is be open, check up and tweak. Then I'll also talk about the takeaways. So along the way as you're creating your advertising on Twitter, or as you're creating your story on Twitter, one of the things you need to go out to is create some form of urgency with this promoted tweet. Things like today only, start now, only a few seats left. Twitter moves very quickly. You want to have that sort of tonality with your promoted tweet. So this language resonates well with Twitter. Or probably discounts by this sort of percentage, probably a certain number, especially if your items are less, if you're into selling products. Then you need to add some form of calls to action. If you want people to actually sign up, say things like sign up now. The other thing is be open. Try a new targeting option, and we're going to look into targeting. Try a new targeting options around certain interests of people you want to target with this promoted tweet. Go outside of the customer's focus and then understand who is this customer, and then hit them with your targeting. So advertisers are often surprised by who their message resonates with. Let few test campaigns show you where possible new audiences would be. So test with a few campaigns, do a A and B testing. So do this A and B testing to see, probably do a first campaign on a certain audience, then do a second campaign on another audience to test, then probably you can launch at a later stage. The other thing that you need to do as you're doing Twitter advertising is check up and tweak. After you have put up this promoted tweet and everything has gone live and you have reviewed, you need to tweak along the way. Don't just let your campaigns run their course and then see how they're doing. Don't let them do that. Check on newly launched campaigns. Any newly launched campaign or promoted tweet you've put out, you need to go back and check and tweak. So if it's struggling, delete the creatives. Delete the creatives that are underperforming and add fresh ones, or readjust your targeting. If it's thriving, try to figure out which creatives your audiences are responding to so well, and then consider adding probably a few dollars or a few shillings to sort of broaden probably the audiences. So the key takeaways: keep your tweet copy clear, be concise, but be bold, and emphasize urgency and be open. Add rich media. Add photos, videos, or GIFs that are rich and are high quality, especially the short videos. Make them 15 seconds or less whenever that is possible. Consider who your client follows, or consider who audiences you're trying to go out for, and build a timeline that will inspire better tweets or promoted tweets. So there you have it. We shall have a continuation to this. Thank you so much, and let's dive into more into Twitter advertising.